I bet you can tell me what has gone wrong in the last week, but what about the things that went right? Today's stories include, finally, some positive news about COVID, a warm welcome for Ukrainians in Europe, a victory for planet Earth over single-use plastics, a historic ruling to protect the Central Arctic Sea, some fantastic news for the animal kingdom, and progress for gender equality. After a year of challenges, the latest coronavirus data is looking positive. So much has changed since early 2020. Mask mandates and virus restrictions are being eased around the world. COVID-19 rules for travelers are becoming less restrictive. Britain, France, Denmark, Turkey, and other parts of Europe have loosened entry rules, and every day the list grows bigger and bigger. And yes, the World Health Organization says we're still watching out for the Omicron subvariant. But on the bright side, a new set of studies suggests that 3 doses of a COVID vaccine, or even just 2, are enough to protect most people from serious illness and death for a long time. And the booster jab has shown to be effective in battle with coronavirus variants. And now on to a global wave of kindness. Extreme situations can sometimes reveal the very best in us. And the situation in Ukraine has been no exception. The European Union has agreed to allow Ukrainian refugees the right to live and work in the European Union for up to 3 years. It is an unprecedented change in EU law.
This is a real great day when we managed to have a unanimous decision on the Temporary Protection Directive.
It was described as historic by the European Commissioner for Home Affairs. Poland already registered over 500,000 Ukrainian refugees. Hungary, a country not famed for being welcoming to immigrants in recent years, had more than 130,000 arrivals. Berlin has also become a major hub, and other countries like France have allowed Ukrainian refugees to travel free of charge on their long-distance trains. Civilians also across the globe have found unique ways to help, for example, by booking Airbnb rental properties they don't intend to use. And now on to celebrate a victory over single-use plastics that is bound to make planet Earth happy. Heads of states and other representatives from 175 nations signed a historic resolution to end plastic pollution. The new pact, which could be legally binding, will address packaging design to cut down on plastic use, improve recycling, and make assistance available to developing nations.
We will eliminate plastic pollution from our environment.
Inger Andersen, executive director of UNEP, said it was the most significant environmental multilateral deal since the Paris Accord. And that is a big deal. And in more good news for the planet, commercial fishing has been banned in the Central Arctic Ocean. 10 nations have signed the agreement, including the so-called Arctic 5, which includes Canada, Norway, Russia, Denmark, and the United States, as well as the major fishing nations, Iceland, Japan, South Korea, China, and the European Union.
We want to make decisions based on sound science and indigenous knowledge. We need to honor our commitments to Arctic indigenous peoples.
They say they want to build scientific knowledge to implement coherent and sustainable regulations before opening back to fishing. And now on to the animal kingdom. Humpback whales have been removed from the list of Australia's threatened species. The number of humpback whales in Australian waters has reportedly grown from 1,500 to an estimated 40,000 after 60 years of conservation efforts. And on the other side of the world, another project about tequila, the tequila fish, not the drink, which has been introduced back into the wild after having gone extinct from its native habitat some 20 years ago. And it's been a long ride. It all started back in 1998 when the Chester Zoo in England gave 5 female and 5 male tequila fish to the Michoacana University in Mexico. There, the experts nurtured them until their numbers grew larger and larger. The population is now growing steadily, and thousands of fish have been reintroduced into the rivers of Jalisco in southwest Mexico. Conservationists admit it's been an enormous effort to save a tiny fish that most people have never heard of. but they believe it's an important precedent for the future of conservation. And we'll finish off with good news in the fight for gender equality to mark International Women's Day. According to a recent report, there's been an increase in the number of women in senior management positions around the world. 32% are now women, and there's still a long way to go, of course, but change is still positive. Over the last decade, that figure increased by 11%. It is up from 21% in 2012. And what's also interesting is that this year's increase has been largely driven by improvements in Africa because women occupy 40% of all senior roles, well above the worldwide average and well above the European average. And the wild card here is that COVID seems to have acted as a catalyst for gender equality. 73% of the 5,000 executives surveyed for the report believe that new COVID-driven work practices, such as greater employee flexibility and remote working, will benefit women's careers in the long term. And that's how the world got better in the last week. Don't hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Tell us if you liked this Good News Roundup, and get in touch if you saw something uplifting you would like to share. And remember, some people say no news is good news, but some news can be good news.